Why Russia and Ukraine have never been able to get along with each other. Let's learn about the history together. Russia is the largest country in Asia and Europe. These two continents have an area of about 17.7 million square kilometers, with a population of 140 million people. Moscow, Russia is mainly located in the European part of the city. And Ukraine is located in Eastern Europe, with a population of 42 million people and an area of about 607,052 square kilometers. It has a capital in Kiev. Russia and Ukraine have a common ancestry. Kievan Rus was founded on the vast Eastern European plain early in the 9th century. That's over 700 years ago. The Russians became the collective name of the East Slavs during this process and were the first great unification in their history. They gradually began to believe in the Orthodox Church and the Catholic Church in Europe. There were obvious religious and cultural differences. They formed their own unique Russian and Ukrainian languages. In the 11th century, with societal unrest within the Kievan Rus, the empire began to split into many principalities. In the 13th century, Mongolia moved rapidly westward. In 140, Mongol army captured Kiev. Mongolia established a superb khanate in the plains of Eastern Europe. Most of the Russians were ruled by the Mongols. Only Galicia and the Duchy of Warren were not ruled by the Mongols. They were mainly the western part of what is now Ukraine. However, the good times did not last long. In the 14th century, Lithuania took advantage of the Mongols' lack of time to attend to other things, with Rus fighting each other. Lithuania occupied the region of western Ukraine and Belarus, which had been fighting for 3 years. In 1480, Muscovy became independent from the Mongol Empire. In 1546, the Principality of Moscow unified principalities of Rus. In 1547, the monarch of the Principality of Moscow became his own czar and officially changed its name. The country was then transformed into a centralized power, which led to the birth of the Moscow-centered Russian Empire. At the time, Ukraine had fallen into the hands of Poland. Poland is a West Slavic believer in Catholicism, but the Catholics in Catholic Russia were not fundamentally opposed to the Catholicization trend. Therefore, the Russians in the Ukrainian region are oriented towards Russia, which is similar in language, culture, and religion. From 1772 to 1795, Russia joined Prussia and Austria to divide up the territory of Poland 3 times. So that Western Ukraine was finally included in Russia, which made the whole Ukraine was incorporated into the territory of Russia. However, Western Ukraine, which was deeply influenced by Poland, accepted the Western cultural belief. The Ukrainian state eventually emerged as a reality in the process of religious reform, with Protestantism becoming the dominant religion. Catholicism was incompatible with Orthodox Christianity, and Western Ukraine gradually formed an independent Ukrainian and national identity. Therefore, Russia began implementing policies of Russification the year 1795 and ultimately failed to achieve their goal. It has been said to have been successful in Western Ukraine. In Eastern Ukraine, the percentage of people using Russian as their first language is reaching 70%. At that time, the Russians started moving in Eastern Ukraine, such as the East Base region. In the early 19th century, after the discovery of coal mines in Russia, industry in the region became far more developed and provided a major source of income. There is a governor in Eastern Ukraine, and this was set up by Russia. Although Ukraine is majority Ukrainian, because of the power it has over Ukraine for quite some time now, it's more considered Russian to many people. In 1917, Russia experienced the October Revolution, which overthrew the power of the feudal Tsarist regime. The Ukrainian People's Republic, or simply the first democratic country of Ukraine, was established in 1919. After the First World War, Ukraine established a Soviet regime. While it was still a part of Russia, it became independent in the 1920s. Ukraine has been a key resource in the Soviet Union economy since before its independence. Its key mineral resources and unique natural conditions made it fertile ground for central planning. Eastern Ukraine is an important and integral part of Ukraine's heavy industry as well as the Soviet Union. At this time, Russia and Ukraine still seemed to be friendly in 1954. On the 300th anniversary of Russia and Ukraine's merger, Khrushchev surprisingly assigned the Crimea Peninsula. This decision was made despite its being part of Russia. Ethnic Russians live in the area because of its proximity to Russia. This paved the way for a conflict between Russia and Ukraine. Now that Ukraine has announced its intention to enter NATO, many people in the Persian region of Crimea are feeling upset because they felt betrayed. And the economic downturn in Ukraine intensified their idea of separating from Ukraine. For Ukraine, losing the eastern region is equivalent to losing about 3/4 of industrial area. If you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumb up and share with your friend. Thank you for watching.